All right, chat, so I got an interesting question for you guys today, and honest answers only. Is it okay for a fighting game to be developed purely for the sake of fun and not have the design philosophy be around trying to make a complete balanced fighting game? I see some yes, no, yes, yes, but also no because it's not good for the competitive scene. Exactly, right? So that's a lot of what people are talking about when it comes to a game being developed like this, right? So you guys in the chat may be wondering exactly why did I want to discuss this today, and it's purely because I see a lot of comments about DNF Duel, man. DNF Duel, everybody's talking about DNF Duel. This game is broken, man. We need to fix these characters. We need to tone these characters down. This game does not need to be like this. He needs to be nerfed. She needs to be nerfed. All these characters need to be nerfed. This needs to be a balanced fighting game. And while I do understand on one front, and one front particularly, the main front of this game is I feel like it don't have to be like that, right? There's games that people love, and I always like to give an example of Marvel vs. Capcom, right? Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, whatever one you want to say. And I had this conversation with a friend not too long ago where I asked them, I said, why is it that people are okay with the spectacle of Marvel being a completely broken mess that it is, and that game having, you know, found the success that it had with a, you know, Titan's community that loved that game and stuff like that? Why is it that that game could find the success that it has, but when this game comes out, it's complete shit because these characters are high character powered, right? Marvel vs. Capcom characters are definitely high character powers in that game all over the place. And he gave me the example, and it's not really a logistical one, but it's one I guess some people would try to make as a legit argument. He said, well, it's okay because your favorite superhero, anti-superhero is doing it, you know, because it's the Spider-Mans and the Iron Mans and the Dr. Dooms and the Virgils doing it, rather than a IP that no one probably ever heard of outside of being in Korea or some other Asian countries. And like I said, it's definitely not a good argument, but I can definitely see where he's coming from, where some people would have that mindset of coming into something like that. But DNF Duel, man, a lot of people want characters nerfed, and of course, there's a tournament out there, you guys probably seen it by now, where they're banning Swiftmaster already. There's a tournament that someone is hosting, I believe it was Zambu, who's definitely a very strong Grand Blue Fantasy Versus player and just overall strong player overall, and just decided to make a tournament banning Swiftmaster. And hey, I guess it was good for publicity because that tournament is doing some pretty good numbers as far as like things he was saying and stuff like that, or at least the amount of people that the tournament was reaching because of the things that he said. But DNF Duel is a game that has some very strong characters, right? The characters are absolutely ridiculous. They're doing a bunch of different things, 70% full screen normals, you can't block in the air, everybody's doing like 50% damage combos, or 80% damage combos with 200 minimum damage scaling supers and stuff like that. It's absolutely ridiculous the amount of things that a lot of the characters in the game can do. And like I said, for the most part, I think that's honestly okay. I think it's okay to have games like this, right? I think it's okay to have some games that aren't completely balanced. Some people honestly feel the best balance is a game that's completely broken, right? If everybody's busted, then it's a balanced game, right? Some people truly believe in that philosophy, and I think it's a beautiful thing almost, especially for Marvel vs. Capcom. Now, of course, there's some characters in that game that aren't as strong as some others, for sure, but because it's a team game, you can sort of make some sort of good shells and revolve it around a character that's not seemingly as strong as some of the other ones, and make something pretty unique that is actually functional and actually can mess some people up. DNF Duel is not that case where it's a team game, but for the most part, a lot of the characters are definitely strong, and a lot of people agree that Swiftmaster is probably the best character in the game, undoubtedly the best character in the game. Very, very strong character. So if people, I understand, some people probably want him, but besides that one character, we take him out of the equation, I think right there we have a solid game, right? There's obviously always going to be some characters that are definitely stronger than others, for sure. The character power in the game, I think, is fine to have at such a level. Now, one thing that one of you guys definitely said inside the chat was that this is something that is not good for the tournament environment. And one thing that I was definitely going to say that I feel like I can agree with people with as far as the tournament thing is, this is an Arc World Tour game, right? This is the Arc World Tour game. So yes, for a competitive scene, having something that volatile can definitely seem like something you don't want to play. There's already been players that have been expressing their sort of griefness as far as not wanting to compete in this game or not take this game seriously just because of how crazy of a game it is, right? The characters are so strong in this game that sometimes you just get touched and things happen, right? It's hard to control the situations in the game, and it makes it feel like every character, everybody is a threat that are playing certain characters inside the game. That right there don't sound like something I want to try to compete in and try to be the best in. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I guess the real question is exactly where do we draw the line? Like, what do people actually want in these type of situations, right? Do people just want like some of the lower characters people deem as like not so strong inside DNF Duel just go up? Some of these characters like, okay, if we like, okay, you touch Swiftmaster just a little bit, and then you bring, I guess, Inquisitor up a little bit, and then some of the other characters that some people deem are not as strong, just slightly, like probably like, you touch the one best character, and you touch like 2 or 3 of the bottom characters of the game right now. Will everybody be okay with the game? Is that fine? Is that all what people want? Like, what exactly do people want from this game? I feel like it's okay for the game to have strong characters, and I just think that's something that I guess newer players just aren't used to, as far as having something to where there isn't always a right answer. You know, characters are so strong in this game, there isn't always something that you can actively do in certain situations, right? Take Striker doing guard break, right? If you already guard cancel and you don't have the meter, there's nothing you can do. She's going to guard break you and then you're going to die. That's just the situation. Or I mean, we can take a look at Swiftmaster, right? This character's ridiculous. You put the winds up, you're playing Ranger, it's hard, right? Most of your normals are shots, projectiles, and he's just going to go through them. What can you do? There's not always a legit answer for everything that is coming at you. I think a lot of people are so used to being like, okay, these are the responses that I need to have for these situations. And not every game, I feel like, have certain things where it's like that. You just, sometimes it's just purely a guess, or sometimes you literally can't do nothing once you already use the one option that you have that you already exhausted. So chat, what did we learn today? There's definitely an interesting conversation between fun, balancing of fighting game characters, and like degenerate stuff inside of fighting games, right? You have to try to find that balance. And I think there was definitely some few things that I've seen like a while back where there were people talking about finding that in between of things that are fun to do, but the frustration that you have when you're actually dealing with those things yourself, right? You know, there are just certain things, especially inside DNF Duel, that are frustrating to deal with, but also fun to do. Prime example, once again, using Swiftmaster, is those lone combos, right? When you're actually doing them, it's fun. Watching it is probably not that fun. Also, doing Striker's block strings, I love doing it. Watching it when I don't got no meter, hell no, I don't like watching it. But it's finding that nice middle line between all of these things that I think is going to be the true balance of how you can actually make a fun, high character power fighting game. Because of course, at the end of the day, chat, we know there's two different types of fighting game players. The people that just want to have fun and the people who just want to win. And of course, the fun for the people who just want to win is winning itself. So of course, naturally, games like Marvel vs. Capcom that have these high character power levels where characters are doing all types of crazy things with these team compositions, and of course, it's your favorite IPs doing it as well. People just like to do crazy busted stuff. But as long as the busted stuff is fun to do and manageable to tolerate, then I think it's an okay thing for a fighting game to have. Now, like I said, for tournament stakes, that could be a whole different conversation, but that wasn't this one for today. So chat, how we feeling about this one? Y'all get the perspective of it now? I've been seeing a lot of different conversations about it, and I definitely just want to get my 2 cents of like how both sides were perceiving this type of conversation, and I just thought it was a little bit weird how people were just going about it. And of course, you guys already know this is going up on YouTube, so the people on the YouTube, let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel about this type of stuff as well. How do you guys feel about the overall balance of fighting games in general, as far as the game being developed around fun rather than trying to have the design philosophy around being a balanced fighting game? Also, overall, let me know how you guys feel about the balancing of DNF Duel, and why do people perceive like this game is totally busted and stuff like that, but they accept other games like Marvel vs. Capcom? Just want to hear what you guys got to say about that as well. Anyway, if you like anything I had to say, drop me a like, I greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, follow my socials. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you know the next video goes live. As always, my name is Daikin, and I'll see you next time. Signing out.